ongoing commitments. You only pay for what you use. AWS gives you more services and more features within those services than any other cloud provider. This makes it faster, easier, and more cost-effective to move your existing applications to the cloud and to build anything you can imagine. From infrastructure technologies like compute, storage, and databases, to emerging technologies such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, data lakes and analytics, and Internet of Things. Building on AWS means you can choose the right tool for the job. For example, AWS offers the widest variety of databases that are purpose-built for different types of applications. With AWS, you can leverage the latest technologies to experiment and innovate more quickly. We are continually accelerating our pace of innovation to invent entirely new technologies you can use to transform your business. Like pioneering the serverless computing space with the launch of AWS Lambda, which lets developers run their code without provisioning or managing servers. And AWS built Amazon SageMaker, a fully managed machine learning service that empowers everyday developers and scientists to use machine learning without any previous experience. We are constantly expanding our global network of AWS regions, so you can access AWS services to build and run your applications from anywhere in the world. Each of these regions has multiple availability zones. They're physically separated from each other and connected by low latency, high throughput, and highly redundant networking. This makes it easy to design and operate applications that are scalable, fault tolerant, and highly available. Our infrastructure is built to satisfy the security standards of the most risk-sensitive organizations. You also have access to the AWS Partner Network, which has thousands of systems integrators who specialize in AWS services, and tens of thousands of independent software vendors who adapt their technology to work on AWS. With the largest community of customers across every industry, AWS has unmatched experience and operational expertise you can depend upon for your most important applications and every imaginable use case.
Okay, that is what is AWS all about. Right? We are offering I call it the IT services, from compute, storage, database, IoT, data analytics, computer vision, AI, Gen AI, all sorts of services, right? So most importantly is this is all the key at the high level. We do offer all these things. Actually, on top of that, I think what I want to highlight is, let me just flash this out, right? We have more than 200 services. 200 types of services available, right? You can count with storage, all this, you can just count, it's more than 200 services available. And then cloud is the foundation to build scalability, right? To build skill means that if you were to go on-prem, you want to support billion users. It's going to be challenging for you to buy those type of hardware and infrastructure actually to support them. Cloud itself is ready there. Your business grow to billion, or if you eventually join a company who require you to actually think of some architecture to support bigger business, million, billion, cloud, AWS cloud will be one of the good option for you to consider in future, right? When you can move that, you need to design those things, or need to make a decision on what type of solution you need to support the business, right? This is a very high level category of services. Also, we have 200 plus currently, but this is, I think currently, what you need to know is practical what type of services you can think of. I would say that is that in AWS, okay? So I think what is the advantage, key advantages? I think it's very important slide. I think just need to understand. Agility means that you have a new idea. Let's say today you have a new idea, you want to test out something. If without the cloud, you need to buy hardware. Or before buy hardware, you need to write a proposal, a justification report. Why should you actually test software, right? Test out a solution. Then if a solution doesn't work out, you're going to be in a very difficult situation because you spend $1 million. So when it comes to cloud, because you can actually have an idea, you can test it out. It could be only cost you a few dollars, a few $10 or even $100 to test the idea. When it works, scale up, then become a permanent solution. It's not just scratch it off. so that you do not have an initial commitment of $1 billion just to test an idea, right? So cost saving, right? So just like just now, if you design your data, if you sign your data on-prem data center to cope for the peak, then most of the time you may not be peak. So the 80 to 90% of resources is wasted sitting down there most of the time, right? When it comes to cloud, you can scale down automatically, only you pay what you need to go. Starting elasticity means that you no longer worry about guessing the capacity, right? If my architecture work, support 1 million, 100 million, your automated event will grow. You don't need to worry if should cut my number of servers sufficient to support the user or not. Okay? So deploy globally in minutes. Let's say if you want to actually, if future company want to actually expand the business, let's say now Malaysia, then you expand business in other country, in Europe, or in Singapore, or in Thailand, or Indonesia. Instead of you go there and get a data center, buy server, now you can immediately provision the computer service from that region. So that immediately you serve your customer, okay? This is some of example, right? Maybe for during the COVID time, right? How long you guess for Pfizer to develop a COVID-19 vaccine? Process normally take 8 to 10 years, right? Typically, it will take 10 years to come out with vaccine, right? So, the running database, you only take 269 days, which about less than 9 months, right? Actually, to get ready for the vaccine, so that actually most of the I call it human in the world, in the global actually get that vaccine, right? So, okay, the second question is, this is an interesting thing. What is the reliability of data you will put in the AWS cloud? Because 11.9, means that 99.99999%, means that your data is there. It continue to be there for longest period of time. That translates to your 10 million aspects, only one, you somehow for some reason, you cannot access it. Durability then over 1,000 years, means that those are the technology we build, we actually offer to our customer just from the storage perspective, right? And this is just a subset of Malaysian customer, okay? And more, yeah.
Saya tahu most sponsor.
Sorry?
I know that most sponsor I know Bundesliga and F1.
Yeah. All these are the key, a subset of customer in Malaysia. Actually more, actually, right? Okay, this one is important thing, right? This is the region we have currently. You can look at the Asia Pacific side, Malaysia. Okay? For AWS, we do have a region, means that we do have multiple data centers in Malaysia, connected each other to provide the cloud service. Means that actual physical hardware, the DC are designed in Malaysia. Okay? We do have, this is, globally we have, I think 30 plus today, regions, right? So that you can deploy everywhere you like. If your future company is going to start your business in somewhere, you can just click and deploy immediately. So after these 6 regions, we have 18 years experience. In terms of security, we have 300 plus security, one of the most secure feature service provider in the planet today. Then we have 250 service provider, and the key thing is we have 3.6 times more efficiency in terms of the sustainability. Right? We generate less carbon, right, compared to the on-prem data center. And then also, AWS is the only company we continue reduce price, right? Reduce price, actually we reduce price 151 times, right? People are trying to increase price because inflation. For AWS, when we believe, when the new technology coming out, actually more powerful, actually we offer. We actually drop price because sometimes technology, actually you know technology, when it started you get expensive, over time you go to cheaper and new technology will come in. So we keep continue have a price reduction 151 times since 2006, right? Okay, and also another important is ecosystem, right? We have 12,000 software listing that can be run in AWS and from the 2,000 independent software vendor. Okay, so this is some announcement. AWS we are investing, continue to invest up to $6 billion in Malaysia by 2027, right? So that's that one. When we announced to launch a region in Malaysia, this is our commitment to our government Malaysia. Okay? Again, after this, I'm going to pass on to Katie to talk about, we call it machine learning, AI, and Gen AI. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Can you all hear me? Okay, right. Before I start, right, can I ask you all questions? How many of you actually use AI today? Can I have a raise of hands? Okay, for those who didn't raise your hand, can I know, do you all know how to use microwave oven? Microwave oven. You use microwave oven before? Right, so think of AI, right? AI can be complicated, but think of it as a microwave oven. Right? You just put on your food, you know what is your food, right? You put it into microwave oven, think of it as microwave oven is an AI. You don't need to know how it works, but you know you put inside there, there's an outcome, something that you can eat. Right? You can start using AI. AI is not scary, right? A lot of times people think that AI is very complicated. I need to take a degree, I need to work in the field for more than 5 years in order to know how to use AI. Alright, it's not the case. Just think of it when 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if you were to take a video, we need an expert of team to do lighting, to do videography, right? To have the equipment to just upload a video. Right? But 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when YouTube become more and more famous and social media become more and more famous, people can start to do streaming. Right? You buy equipment and so on and so forth. But now, today, just like AI, everyone with a phone, right, you can just make a video anywhere. Right? Anyone can start to use AI. Anyone can start to make video. Right? That is the whole messaging of AI today for you all. You can start AI easily. So on AWS itself, we got so many AI services. It might be confusing to you, might be scary, so many names. But the top layer here is something that we want to introduce you today as well. It's something like microwave oven. Right? You just need to pass in your input. You don't need to know how the AI works. You get the output. Right? That is something that we want to show you today. Right? And then the second part there is something about, you know, if you buy your own equipment, you learn some degree. I mean, you spend like, if you spend 1 week, 2 weeks, you can start to buy your own AI journey. That is the second layer. And the third layer is like the big giant company, NVIDIA, they want to build something, they want to test something. We provide the hardware for them to do their own models. Right? That is the third layer. So we cover the first layer first. Right? Recognition is one of our AI services that you put in the input, like your food can be image here, can be video. You pass into our AI services, what you get? Right? You get what is inside the pictures, right? You can see the extraction there. This is the background near a neighborhood, it's a city, there's a skateboard there. Right? You pass in the image, you don't need to care how the AI works, it gives you the output. Okay? No question, I see someone raise their hand. Okay. And then next one, similar things. This is one of our customers actually in Malaysia, one of the retail customers to use, to help to check in their stuff, like whether your student come to the classroom or not. They actually have a device at their door, scanning people's face, and they know who is actually coming to the class, who is not coming to the class. Right? They can actually use this technology without actually know how AI works. Passing the input of the image, then you know who is coming to the class. Right? Next thing is that you have a PDF file, people write something in the business world, people start to give you invoices, right? You have a lot of questions in your maybe textbook, right? You want to upload, you want to extract it out. Right? So we have something called TextRack to actually help you to extract all the information out. Right? Whether or not you want it in a table format, raw text formats, this AI service can help you. Right? Next thing, if you open a restaurant somehow, open a cafe today, you're going to receive a lot of reviews. Right? You're not going to read one by one. So what AI services can do is that help you to analyze the sentiment. Is that positive review? Where it's positive, what is it good about it? Is this particular food is good or particular stuff is good? Or your toilet is really clean, people like it. Right? Without you analyzing over 1,000 or 100,000 of contexts, you can actually streamline the whole things. Right? Again, input, pass it to microwave oven, you get it. Okay? This is AI. Right? You don't have to be expert to use it. You just need to know what AI service is available out there, so that you know how to use it, right? So you can extract a lot of different variety of content from these AI services. Just to flashback here, this is our AI stack, right? And what I showed you just now, if you really don't know how to, if you haven't used AI before, you're fear of using AI, you can always start with the small stack. right? But if someone just now, I see a lot of you actually raise your hand on the AI part, right? You can actually move on to the second part, write Python script, right? Start to build your own models, right? Start to run your experimentation with your data. So this is the highlight of the day. It's also something that you all will later on spend 90 minutes to do lab together with us, right? We're going to give you a hands-on environment, a sandbox environment to log into AWS account for free for another 2 days, right? You can continue to use the lab and you can try out all the GenAI stuff on AWS. So generative AI Bedrock is one of our services. By the way, we're going to have quiz later on. The top 5% we're going to win something out, right? So we actually have a prize to win. So I think some of the tips here I keep highlighting. If you see hearing me highlighting some stuff, you'll be part of the quiz as well. So generative AI Bedrock, what is Bedrock, right? Anyone familiar with LLM? Large language model? ChatGPT, Llama, Meta, right? All these are large language models. But today, one of the biggest challenges here for most users is that if I want to use a different new model, I need to find a way, how do I sign up, get access key, how to integrate with them, understand their pricing models. It can be a bit confusing. Because if you are active on LinkedIn, I hope you all are should already start active on LinkedIn as well. You should see a lot of people start posting new models almost every week. Right? And then the next model is going to be better and better and faster. How are we going to learn about how do we integrate with these different models? It can be confusing. Right? Okay, so Bedrock come to rescue, right? Bedrock is our service on the AWS that when you sign up, right, we actually help you to connect to all the models. You remember DeepSeek when it's launched? DeepSeek actually launched this year, about end of January. Immediately after 3 days, it's available on Bedrock. Meaning that you don't need to figure out how to connect, how to use it. If you already have the applications, you build an app that has the AI services, you can actually use Bedrock and just switch the endpoints and hey, I want to use DeepSeek today. It's straight away like that, without you change a lot of things on your application and everything. That is high level of Bedrock. So just to do a quick introduction, what is generative AI, right? So first of all, you have to understand what is AI, the concept of AI. AI is just a field of study, right? It's a high level field of study. And then deep into it, we have something called machine learning. Right? It's a subset of it. Machine learning basically tells us that we're going to gather a lot of data set, and then we're going to train the data and come up with an output. A very good example is apple and orange. We give enough image to the computer or to the AI, then we can tell that this is apple, this is orange. Eventually he can analyze the pattern, he know that this is apple and this is orange. So this is machine learning. And then deep into machine learning, we have something called deep learning. Right? Basically it's a neural network. It's not just output 1 and 0. You give them unsupervised large data set, right? And then you will come up with a result for you. Then within deep learning itself, we have something called generative AI. So generative AI is just part of a subset of deep learning and then part of a subset of machine learning and AI. Right? So what are generative AI and what are people talking about generative AI is that today is 2025, right? If you look back, actually generative AI started way before that. 2023, people start thinking about, a lot of buzzwords. People talk about what is Gen AI. What are we doing about it? Because if you think about it, just think of it like when 90s, I'm not sure whether you're born already or not, during 90s time, right? When email first come out to the world, everyone very scared. Email, is all the software company going to read what is inside the letter? People still prefer to send a physical letter because they're scared. You send email, people read your contact, people scared. Right? So eventually, now you see people who scared actually slow to adopt to the market. People who start to use email first become the market leader much faster. Same as Gen AI, right? A lot of companies still hesitate to try out Gen AI, right? But if you have the skill, you know how to apply Gen AI today, it's actually a big advantage for you. But you are going to have a big advantage in the market. So now people no longer ask what is Gen AI, is Gen AI really useful to me? In 2025, it's because people are talking about how. How can the company adapt a Gen AI? So as you all, if you have started to equip more generative AI knowledge, when you start to join any company, you can be the catalyst to actually help the enterprise to drive the Gen AI initiative. They need people who know how to drive, how to use, how to adopt. Gen AI is not whether should we use it or not. It's something that how can we help the company to adopt the company-wide Gen AI use cases today. Right, so let's say next year on 2026, 80% of the enterprise will actually start using Gen AI or start to deploy their own Gen AI services. Right, so it's a huge number, right? So I mentioned about Bedrock just now, right? It's helped you to bridge the gap of all the large language model. Right? Without you choosing how to select which model to use, this Amazon Bedrock is our service from AWS that help you to connect all the features to all the large language models. And one of the key things that you have to be, let me show you I think you all have to be familiar with the Studio Ghibli trend today. Right, you upload your picture, they convert your picture to the Studio Ghibli style. Familiar? Have you also seen another news that you upload a Studio Ghibli style picture, it actually convert back to human? Have you all seen that? How did that happen? It's because we as a user, we constantly supply a lot of billions of images to the AI model. They train enough, they know what is the reverse mechanism. They can actually train back. So what is the danger of that is that we're actually supplying our personal data. A lot of people supplying their own personal data to the public AI. But what is worse is that if you are a company, I understand that you all learn gaming as well, right? If you build a game model and you start to ask a lot of related questions to your game design, to the AI services, eventually everyone will have access to your data. Because you ask, that data will eventually become public. That is something that people concern as well. So when you start to join a company, right, that is something that you need to thought of your head. How to protect your company data. So Bedrock here is will actually make sure that your data, when you call all these LLM, your data will not be trained by the third-party models as well. Right, this is supposed to be used. Now, what are some of the Gen AI use cases here? Is that we got chatbot, virtual assistant, conversation editing, and personalization, right? What does it mean is that Sepang F1 on 2023 when Gen AI start, just now when I mentioned 2023 is when Gen AI started, right? Sepang F1 actually built a WhatsApp bot. WhatsApp basically we just brought in a bunch of FAQ. It's actually built on AWS as well. We in all the FAQ, so we as a visitor when we go and watch the F1 Sepang game, right, we can ask questions. Where is the prayer room? What are the food available? Where is the food truck? What time is the next match? So on and so forth. All these things can be talked to chatbot through Gen AI. So we started from there. Then eventually we try to see how can we use AI to perform agentic tasks. This is now the trend about agentic tasks. Agentic tasks is that you have a lot of applications. You have HR application. Imagine you have to submit a claim. You pay something up front first, then you want to claim back from finance team, and this money is something I pay up front. So agentic AI is that imagine you take a picture, straight away he know who are you. He can extract the bill information and send to different system and go through the approval process and go to different system, go to bank and send back the money to you without anyone involved. It used to be 3 different systems, but now agentic AI combine all these 3 together to automate the flow. Okay, so these are the trends that we are looking at now. So these are some of the models. If you are familiar, you are using Gen AI today. These are some of the large language models available on Bedrock, right, which you can use. And last year, on 2024 December, Amazon itself, ourselves actually announced our own models called Amazon Nova. It's a lot more price competitive compared to others models, right? Compared to the number of token versus price, the number of cents that we pay. So we got various models from micro, light, pro, to premium, compass, and so on and so forth. What it do is that it has the capability to perform text summarization, generate text. You can generate video as well, right? You can generate image as well. Okay, short video. So I want to pass to Valerie to talk about, why is it important to actually adopt cloud skill and how is it relevant to the market today, and how can you benefit yourself to know when you know more cloud, right?
Thanks a lot, Katie and Yang, and good morning, everyone. So why are we doing this workshop today, right? Why are we going to schools to actually teach learners about cloud computing? Why is it so important for us to spread this message when you're still quite young? The reason is because there's this skills gap, this discrepancy between the talent demand as well as the talent supply. So I'm just going to be showing you some market statistics, right? So this is the report published by World Economic Forum, and it says that 60% of businesses actually claims that skills gaps in the local labor market is actually the top reason why it holds them back from advancing digital transformation. So just to give you a very real example, 2 years ago, I was in Vietnam. So we went to meet an employer, a bank in Vietnam. And when I stepped into the door, right, I saw their bulletin board. And in that bulletin board, what they flashed was offering 2 times and 3 times referral bonus for a solutions architect role, which is actually like the role of Katie and Liang. So solutions architect is actually one of the most in-demand tech job roles in the cloud industry as well. And the bank is actually offering a lot of referral bonus because they cannot find the talent that they need. Okay. So I'm just going to give you one more statistics as well. This is a report published by AWS and one of the research house, Alpha Beta. And what you'll see on this graph is actually the income premium for workers with advanced digital skills. So take a look at the bottom picture, right? Basic digital skills, intermediate digital skills, and advanced digital skills. So what do we mean by advanced digital skills? It actually refers to things like knowing how to do cloud architecture, knowing how to do cloud maintenance, knowing how to develop software, knowing AI and ML skills, versus people who are working and using basic digital skills like email, social media posting, etc. So basically what the study shows that in APAC in general, those that are working in advanced digital skill jobs actually will earn 65% more than those that do not use advanced digital skills in their job. And in Malaysia, that percentage is 63%. So all these percentage numbers are actually not fluffed up like plucked from the sky or what. It's actually done through a survey with local employers. So for example, they will go and interview local Singapore employers, local Malaysia employers, local Indonesia employers, etc. So all these statistics are very real. And what it actually means is that there's a huge demand for cloud skilled talent. And also if you were to land yourself in a cloud skilled role, you are actually receiving an income premium because of the skill sets that's needed. So let me talk a little bit about what are some of the tech job roles that are available in the cloud industry. Usually we will bucket them into 3 categories: cloud architecture, cloud builder, as well as cloud operations. So cloud architecture, like what Katie and Liang are doing, is very front-end facing. They meet with customers, they understand what is the problem that they have today in terms of their IT stack, or what kind of innovation that they would like to do. For example, the CIO might tell them, today I want to implement AI in my customer relationship management systems. Can you help me architect that? How would that look like in AWS? So what Katie and Liang will actually go and do is they will take a look at all the different AWS services that are most suitable for the customer's demand, and then they will craft out what we call our architecture diagram. How are we going to do that? And subsequently, there's this cloud builder role, which is in the form of like your developer, your software developer, your cloud developer, and they will actually take the architecture diagram received from the solutions architect and then deploy it in the systems. So they will go onto the AWS console, they will pick up all these different services, and they will start deploying, start spinning up the instances, start building the different solutions together. And subsequently, we also have the cloud operations kind of role. Think of it more of like a systems admin. So the person will actually look at all the dashboards, all the costings, how do we best optimize the cost, how do we make things more efficient, and all the auditing, reporting, etc. And of course, we also do have non-technical roles as well. Those that are interfacing with all these different cloud roles, but not necessarily being a technical expert. For example, the CFO, right? He needs to know how much do things cost in operating in the cloud versus on-premise, etc. And then once he knows all these trade-offs, he can make a very wise decision. Another example is, for example, like a program manager managing all the IT different projects as well. Okay? So, of course, you will see other roles that may not have a cloud in the job description or in the job title, but these are some of the common job roles that are actually interfacing with the cloud stack as well. So I think most importantly, if in the future you would like to work in the cloud industry, it's good to ask yourself, which part of the tech stack are you most passionate about? Because I've seen students that say, I want to major in AI, or I want to major in cybersecurity. So they have actually chosen a domain instead of maybe doing like a general computer science degree, right? Because you can choose to be a specialist or you can choose to be a generalist. So you need to sort of have that idea as to what you are most passionate about. Of course, you can start off with a generalist, and then subsequently you can choose to specialize, like I want to be a cybersecurity solutions architect, for example, or I want to be a security solutions architect. That is also possible. And also, whether or not you want to be in a front customer-facing role, like working with customers, understanding their problems, or do you prefer to work more on the back end, interfacing with a lot of these systems, right? And also you can choose to develop your skills in a T-shaped manner, having a very good understanding of all the fundamentals, and then specializing in one particular domain. So our team at AWS is the Skills to Job Tech Alliance team, and we are actually a global coalition of many different stakeholders, like your government entities, like MDEC, like JPPK, and then we also work very closely with education providers like the universities, like the polytechnics, and yesterday I was actually in UNIMAS, and the previous day I was actually in MMU. So we do a lot of workshops for these different learners and faculty members as well. And we also work very closely with employers, right? So employers like eCloud Valley is also here today to share with you a little bit more about how they are using AWS, what are some of the real world implementation cases, what kind of job roles are they looking out for. So Tech Alliance is actually available in 15 geographic regions, and Malaysia Tech Alliance was just launched in October last year. And this is just some numbers that I won't go into detail. But it's actually two key things that we do. We try to modernize programs of studies through what we call industry feedback. So we take a lot of industry feedback and we give that back to the academia faculty so that they can choose to upgrade their syllabus and maintain it and keep it up to date for learners so that you graduate with the industry relevant skills. The second key thing that we do is to connect learners to employers through a range of activities, and that activity is actually one of the activities that you're here today with us. So there's 3 different buckets. Tech Talk is where we bring in an employer to talk to you about the job roles that are available, how it's like working there, which is actually what we're going to be doing today. Job preparation events actually refers to things like career fairs, mentoring, we do a lot of that as well. And also technical scaling events, for example, running like a Cloud Quest tournament, running like a jam, running a hackathon that you can participate in and showcase your skill sets to the employers. So I just want to give you an example as a take home for today, right? If let's say you're keen to try out AI models, you're keen to build like AI apps, you can also consider PartyRock. PartyRock.aws is also a free platform for you. So after your AWS account expires in 72 hours, you can also consider using PartyRock. So you can actually generate image, generate text, create a chatbot, upload documents on PartyRock as well. So some apps that people build is like Resume Optimizer, where you throw in your resume, you throw in the job description that you're applying for, and it will actually tell you how it's like comparing your resume versus the job description, what is the match percentage, what are some of the strengths and weaknesses of your resume as well. Another thing that I hope you can take away today is actually AWS Skill Builder. So Skill Builder is a free platform for you to learn AWS courses at your own pace. So when you go to AWS Skill Builder, you will see like the $29 per month, but don't worry because you can actually ignore that. So you can create a free account and you can look at some of the free courses that you can do. So some courses will be the paid courses, but you can actually really just ignore that. So there's this pretty cool thing on AWS Skill Builder, which is AWS Cloud Quest. It's basically a gamified way for you to learn cloud computing. So imagine yourself in a virtual city, meeting different NPCs, solving their challenge, earning points, keeping a pet, shooting down drones, answering questions. So it's a very fun way to learn cloud computing actually. So I'll just play a quick video to show you how it's like.
Welcome to AWS Cloud Quest Cloud Practitioner, the newest way to build your AWS skills. Cloud Quest is an open-world role-playing game that teaches you how to build real AWS solutions using cloud concepts and exercises. As a cloud practitioner, you'll venture on a journey to help the citizens in town transform their city by using cloud solutions. You can take your technical training to the next level by turning business problems into technical solutions through puzzles, simulations, and hands-on labs. As a foundational building block for skill building and career development, CloudQuest gives you control of your learning journey at your own pace. With tons of customizations, unique assignments, and game modes, CloudQuest is a continuous learning experience. You can earn rewards to unlock various character styles, pet companions, city themes, and vehicles. Dive into the world of AWS and embark on the quest.
So when you go onto AWS Skill Builder, you will see quite a few different cloud quests, but only the Cloud Practitioner one is the free one. The rest actually requires a subscription. So Cloud Practitioner is actually a 12 hours lab environment containing of 12 different labs, from cloud economics all the way to security concepts, database concepts. And once you actually complete the 12 labs, you get to have this digital badge that you can post on your LinkedIn profile as well. So this is basically like a free resource for you to learn and also demonstrate your skills on LinkedIn. Okay, so without further ado, I think that's all for the slides. We will then cut over to the workshop session where you can go into AWS console and really get your hands dirty and build something. So let's take a picture. Okay. Will there be like the light on the faces if we stand in front of the projection screen? Should be okay now. Okay, got it. So maybe let me just go to the first slide and then we can all take a picture here. Shall we flash the first slide? You know, the AI, AWS Career Day slide. Is it on the? Yeah, your own slide.
Yeah, that input.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at it.
No.
So, let's photo together. This background.
Okay, say cheese. Okay, sugar. Okay, freestyle. So vocal and then subvocal, right?
The thing